Snow falling in parts of the state overnight. It began last night in the East Mountains. Areas like Sandia Park, Tijeras, and Santa Rosa all got a good dusting as well, as we can expect some slick conditions around those areas as you head out this morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Crystal Gutierrez.
And I'm Matt Morrow. Hope you're having a warm and a very nice morning on this Thursday, November 13th. It's now 5:30. What you need to know because of this winter-like weather, Santa Rosa and Vaughn schools, all of them on a 2-hour delay this morning.
For the rest of you getting those kiddos ready, make sure to bundle them up. It is freezing outside. Here's meteorologist Cassandra Crimmy.
Guys, we are seeing the coldest temperatures that we have seen so far yet this season. Numbers down into the 20s in the metro area. We have a lot of teens, even some single digits as we get you towards Las Vegas, Clayton, and Raton this morning. 25 in Socorro, at 36 degrees in Camado, and 28 in Alamogordo to start you off on this Thursday. So as we take you through the afternoon, what to expect. Not only is it going to be frigid this morning, but it's going to stay cold all afternoon long. At noon, 42, mostly sunny skies, 44 degrees at around 5 o'clock with mostly clear to partly cloudy conditions. So just some headlines for today. We do have hard freezes in place for the middle and lower Rio Grande Valley now through 10 a.m. as the temperatures are expected to stay very cold. And the coldest time of the day is now through about 7 a.m. but expect to see those 20s sticking around all the way through about 8, even 9 o'clock in many locations. But we do have some relief in sight. Just around the corner, we do have some warmer temperatures headed our way. I'll have more details on that coming up.
And as we just mentioned, some roads and highways here in New Mexico are a mess this morning. Take a look at this map from nmroads.com that showed the trouble spots. I-40 is believed to still be snowpacked and icy between Moriarty and Santa Rosa. Just south of that, US 54 is also slick from Vaughn to Santa Rosa. Then north of there, I-25 is bad from Road to just north of Los Alamos.
Well, the freezing temperatures are prompting the city of Albuquerque to open up an emergency winter shelter starting tonight. The Albuquerque Rescue Mission at 2nd and Iron will take in people who need a safe and a warm place to stay starting tonight at 8 o'clock. Volunteers will also be driving around looking for any homeless people on the street who need a warm place to stay. The city expects about 180 people will use the shelter all during the next 4 months. And of course, keep it right here on News 13 for all the latest on this winter-like weather, the school closures, the road updates, and more. And you can get all of it anytime at KRQE.com. All right, coming up on 5:33 now, a fight is brewing about proposed regulations for a growing trend here in New Mexico. While some state legislators say it is all to protect kids and taxpayers.
Well, some businesses say it could force them out of business, and even worse, push people who are trying to kick smoking back to cigarettes. News 13's Catherine Ozone is in the Newsplex with why.
That's right, Crystal. One bill calls for restricting e-cigs being sold to anyone under 18, just like cigarettes. Vapor shop owners say they're fine with that. They don't sell to minors as it is. The second bill would impose a tax that looks a lot like the tax on tobacco.
Lumping us in with big tobacco is really insulting.
Alyssa Cortez owns a vapor shop in Northwest Albuquerque. She says one of the reasons why she wanted to get into the industry is because e-cigs help to save her health by getting her off cigarettes. It's often the reason why people turn to e-cigs and vaporizers. Now, the state's Tobacco Settlement Revenue Oversight Committee wants to pass 2 new laws to put regulations on the currently unregulated industry. One of those is a tax, much like the one on cigarettes. It would tax the nicotine juice used in e-cigs and e-cigs. Committee member Senator Cisco McSorley says the highest nicotine level would be taxed at about the same rate as a box of cigarettes. E-cigarette shops say that's the problem. They say it would make the cost too expensive for customers and could chase them back to smoking. Shops like this might even be forced out of business, even though they don't carry any of Big Tobacco's e-cig products.
It's going to hurt us, and it's going to hurt the economy. I mean, we're small business owners that are occupying storefronts that haven't been occupied in years. We're helping with the horrible unemployment rate, and we're paying taxes already.
They will be rewarded for using e-cigarettes because the amount of nicotine they're ingesting as they go along with vaporizing will decrease the amount of nicotine and therefore reduce their taxes.
Now, McSorley says he hopes the tax money will go towards tobacco cessation and medical programs, just like the tobacco tax. He says they're only spending $7 million on those programs right now and would like to see that number closer to $22 million. Back to you.
All right, thanks for that information, Catherine. The bills have passed the committee phase. Next, they will be introduced during the next legislative session.
5:35 now. A former New Mexico sheriff is fighting for a retrial. The hearing is set for today to determine if Tommy Rodello will be allowed to have a retrial. Rodello was found guilty back in September on civil rights violations for roughing up a driver, but his attorneys claim he got key medical info about Rodello's son, a witness in the case, too late to properly question him. Mr. Rodello is set to be sentenced later this year to a minimum of 7 years in federal prison. He could face up to 17 years there. Meanwhile, we have looked over the paperwork that shows a federal judge denied a motion filed by Rodello to disqualify U.S. Attorney Damon Martinez and the U.S. Attorney's Office from having anything further to do with this case. Rodello claims Martinez has a personal vendetta against Rodello about a prior dispute with the U.S. Forest Service and previously threatened him. Martinez was named as a witness in the case against Rodello, but was never called to the stand.
Sandia National Labs is accused of misusing federal money to try to extend a $2.4 billion contract. The Department of Energy's Inspector General released reports saying the labs used the money to influence officials. The Inspector General's report shows the lab formed a team and developed a plan to secure the contract extension. The plan called for lobbying Congress and influencing advisors to the Energy Secretary. Sandia officials say they'll cooperate with the recommendations in that report.
Or maybe you've seen the stories from all around the country, panhandlers working busy intersections and raking in the cash. So we're wondering, does that happen right here in Albuquerque? News 13 hit the streets to find out how much some panhandlers make and just what they do with it. Well, we met Justin Mack near I-25 in Montano. He says he has heard the stories of panhandlers living a good life, but says that is far from his story.
Every bit of pride that you have ever had in your life goes out the window, and you just feel like absolute garbage standing there.
And everyone we talk with says some days are better than others, and it's possible to make a couple $100 in a few hours next to a busy intersection during rush hour. Panhandling is illegal here in Albuquerque, while aggressive panhandling is not. And police say they will tell people to move along if they're in a dangerous spot or blocking traffic.
Listen to this. A line of people have been hanging at the Coronado Center overnight, waiting, hoping to grab a big deal that could be worth hundreds. Here is a look at the line this morning. People are there to take part in the center's 50th anniversary and the grand opening of the new H&M store today. So what's the reason for the long line already? The first 300 people in line outside the new clothing store at 11 a.m. can get gift cards up to $300. Can you believe that? Coronado Mall got a makeover for its 50th anniversary. I don't know. Did you see that? They have blankets.
Here's the deal. At least they're not outside. Think about how bad that would have been if they were outside trying to deal with the cold.
Did I see some sleeping bags in that video?
Oh, you saw some sleeping bags, pillows, stuffed animals, maybe deck cards, something like that.
They are dedicated. Getting their Christmas shopping early.
I would just hate to be the one who gets a $10 gift card.
That's true.
For all of that.
Because it could be as small as $10.
Yeah, 10 to 300.